We are currently living in a time very similar to the French Revolution, and there are signs of the beginnings of a revolt, which include Luigi and everybody's response to this TikTok ban and leaving Meta and leaving Twitter and having had enough. I personally think the reason we haven't revolted yet is because we have too many creature comforts. We have our fancy cell phones and we have our Netflix and we have our electricity, and we're furious about the price of groceries, and we're furious about the healthcare system, and we're furious about the 1% not paying their share of taxes. And these are things we could agree on, I would imagine, across the aisle, but we are a little too comfortable to revolt, which is why the French Revolution did officially happen, and we're on the precipice. Here are some of the things that led to the French Revolution: a severe debt crisis, tax inequality, food scarcity, social inequality. The commoners were 90% of the population but had little political power or social privilege. There became a resentment of privilege. The first and second estates, which are the top classes of France at the time, lived in luxury while the commoners faced poverty, creating resentment toward the ruling classes. I think that's happening right now. Political discontent. They felt that the monarchy was weak, or leadership, let's just call it leaders, that they were seen as indecisive and unable to address France's problems effectively. I would say that that's the case now. All that led up to then there being some triggering events. So some things that happened that really then set things in motion. And again, I feel like we maybe are starting to see some of those, and I think the TikTok ban is one of them. So the gist is, to change anything, you have to be at rock bottom. You won't change anything in your life unless you're truly miserable. And we're all just a little bit above truly miserable, right? Like the amount that we're paying for rents or the access to healthcare is absolutely ridiculous and terrible. But we're just not miserable enough because we have Netflix. I know I keep going to that, but I do think it is about the fact that we might be worried about the price of eggs, but we all have TV we can watch when we get home, or videos we can watch on our phone. We have just a way to zone out from the world. I do think a great start to making change would be stop watching the major news channels, because they are feeding you what they want you to see, but they're also feeding you what you want to see, because you're only watching that channel because that's the channel you believe, whichever channel it is. I just think it's a very interesting comparison to today, and I look forward to seeing if some of our recent events are triggering events or they're just a drop in the bucket, and we'll continue as usual. What do you want to happen, actually? That's what I'd love to hear the most. Share in the comments.